get to a couple of comments here. Jacob, where are you calling from, Jacob?
Yeah, hi. I'm in Fargo. How are you?
Doing great. What's on your mind today?
So I'm voting for Biden.
You're in the 36%. We found one, Kev.
Oh, all right.
Beautiful. Tell us why.
Because if given the choice of eating dog poop or cyanide, I'll choose dog poop.
There's a resounding endorsement of Joe Biden. I mean, that is, and I'm guessing that's how most of the 36% feel. It really says a lot about Joe Biden, doesn't it?
It has nothing to do with getting Biden in office. It's all about getting that wannabe autocrat Orange Jesus not in the office.
Explain your terminology, orange genius, or Jesus, orange Jesus for me. What do you?
A Republican congressman called him that.
Oh, you're talking about Trump, an autocrat. So, Jacob? Do you buy into the gonna become a dictator and there'll be a bloodbath and?
You guys can excuse anything away. I know.
No. I'm. That's a sincere question.
I'm answering you.
Okay.
He has said so many horrendous things, and all people like you do is go, "Oh, he's being sarcastic. Oh, it's taken out of context. Oh, that's not what he really meant." He's telling us. And go read Project 2025. Have you read Project 2025?
I have, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
You haven't heard of it? You have a political radio show, and you haven't even heard of it?
I've not heard of Project 2025. No.
It's nonsense.
Who wrote it?
It's by the Heritage Foundation.
Okay.
Go read it. Maybe you should read it before you vote for Trump.
Yeah, the Heritage Foundation
is... The only thing... Yeah, very, very conservative. Go read it. I'm not going to describe the whole thing to you.
Okay, give me one thing out of it that worries you the most. And by the way, your fear of Donald Trump didn't come to be in the first term. What makes you think the second term, all of a sudden, you've got a dictator in there? This is interesting to pick the brain of somebody that's voting for Biden.
Yeah, great question, and let me tell you why. His first term, he made the quote-unquote mistake of allowing adults into the Oval Office. John Kelly, Rex Tillerson, Mattis, Bolton, okay? There ain't going to be any adults the next time around. It's only going to be true sycophants and toadies that'll do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Really? How does that happen with the checks and balances in place that they just have to do what he says, other than executive orders and stuff?
Do you love life, Jacob? Jacob, are you generally a happy, go lucky kind of person? Are you get up every day, smile from ear to ear? You joyful, happy?
Yeah, I have a successful business.
What's your business, Jacob? Your phone is breaking up on us.
You're breaking up, bud. We're not.
What's your business?
I'm in the youth business.
One more time.
Youth sports business.
Youth sports business.
What's the name of it?
It's on the East Coast. You wouldn't have heard of it.
East Coast, and you're in Fargo today.
Go to break.
See you, Jacob. All right, so I did a little quick check here on your Project 2025. I'm aware of the effort. This is something that's been done for decades.
Yeah.
Used to be called Project for Leadership.
Yep.
And what it is basically is the Heritage.
I didn't want to get into it with him, but
the Heritage Foundation is a think tank.
Some great stuff.
And what they do is say, okay, what happens when we win? What's our agenda? What's our policy? And they're proposing policy, but most of it makes total great sense. In fact, again, it used to be called something for leadership. What was it called again? Plan for leadership? Something like that. It had a different name. Anyway,
You know, and I love when you get into it, when you read down and you go to Project.
Mandate for leadership.
Yeah, project2025.org. Premise number 1, restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children.
Oh, no.
Now, somebody like
no.
young Jacob is going to say, that's just a sycophantic, some sort of cult-like, that we're, nonsense about whatever. And, you go on. I would encourage you to read it. I didn't want to get into it, but it goes into the Department of Education and the things that, and it's funny. You see these videos of these blue hairs, these woke little folks, and they're saying, have you seen what Trump wants to do? He wants to shut down the Department of Education. He wants to get, the bottom of the FBI, fire the FBI, half the FBI. He wants to, and it's like, yeah. He wants to close the border. Yeah. He wants to deport everybody. Yeah. And you don't realize they're literally like campaign ads for the guy.
By the way, they did this for the first Trump administration, and they laid out the proposal to cut taxes, to lower regulations, and how that would lead to a growing economy. And guess what it did? And the lowest unemployment rate in 5 decades, including among minorities and women. That was that awful blueprint that they suggested. It made America a net energy exporter for the first time in half a century, all in there. It said veterans care needs a boost. They got it. It says rebuild our national defense. We got it. Ronald Reagan's version of this, way back in his first year in office, he implemented nearly half of the mandate's recommendations. First year in office. Wow. So anyway, this would obviously trigger people like this caller from the East Coast who believes voting for Donald Trump would be akin to ingesting cyanide. A sad state of affairs.
Can any of these people sell you on the Biden choice though?
No.
Can anybody?
This is what I'm saying.
I can't find anybody that.
Well, I mean, listen. What his example was: voting for Biden's like eating dog poop.
Yeah.
This is the twisted view. Craig in Moorhead, you're next on What's on Your Mind. Hey, Craig.
Yeah, you're a caller from out east. I've been hearing this garbage since 2016, ever since Trump came down the escalator, how the world's going to come to an end. And I have to tell you what, a guy that's going to call your show with the agenda of trying to sabotage it should be limited to once a week, because I don't need to hear his garbage every day for the next 5 months. So that's my view. Don't let him destroy your show. He doesn't need. It's a hobby with him. He's having
what's
fun.
Weird? Craig's exactly right. He's called back like 3 times, and every time he calls back, he wants to have an off-air challenge with me, and every time it's a different number. I'm like, dude, what are you calling from, a call center? What's your problem?
This guy is a
professional. I don't know what
card-carrying, perfect example of someone suffering from Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, clearly.
But I don't mind Craig conversations with people who disagree.
Never.
Yeah. I don't mind that at all. In fact, doesn't it say a lot about somebody that literally thinks voting for Donald Trump would be the same as ingesting cyanide? I mean,
And on that note, give him once a week. I don't need to hear his garbage 3 times a day or even once a day.
Yep.
I'll hang up and let you guys get out.
No, I hear you, Craig.
I get it, Craig.
And
totally,
also, what we don't tolerate here is deceit. And if you're calling in with fake names and calling from fake towns
and different numbers,
you're done. You don't get on the air.
Nope.
Not even once a week.
Not a chance.
Just so
now that we got him flagged.
Yeah, we've got the.
And you know what? Like you say, Scott, all about having a reasonable, level-headed conversation. The problem is, like Charlie Kirk we were talking about this. He said, you get 3 questions, and they will either scream at you, they'll call you a racist, they'll say you're an idiot, and they'll walk away in one way or another because they don't have anything. They don't have any meat on the bone. They don't have any argument. There's no substance to any of it.
And I would say that
it's like,
the vast majority of the average everyday get up, go to work Democrat is going to say, let's see, I've got a 4-year example of what Trump did, and I've got a 4-year example of what Biden did. Let's see, which one is better for me? Which one is better for my family, our business, for filling up at the gas station, going to the grocery store? I don't think the vast majority. That's why his approval rating's at 36%, folks.
And I'm all about having
people are waking up to this.
Reasonable Democratic conversation. Tulsi Gabbards of the world, the people that are not just gone off the ranch. and want you to believe that, guys like Jacob or whatever his name is, they want you to believe it's like he's going to be a dictator. There's going to be a bloodbath. He won't ever leave. Well, he already left once. I mean, it's like, everything you're saying he already didn't do any of that the first time around.
Precisely. That's why I don't think it sells.
It doesn't. It stinks to high heaven.
Yeah, I mean, all you're really revealing is how deranged these Trump haters are. Mike, you're next on What's on Your Mind. Go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Kevin. This guy Jacob gives me a pain right where I sit down. I tell you, guys like this, you ask them a question, and they'll answer it with a question. And when they can't answer that question, out comes the bad language, and then out comes the innuendo, because that's all they've got. Somebody should ask this guy, were you better under the Trump administration? Was your life better? Were you paying less for gas? Were you paying less for food? I bet he can't answer that one.
Great questions.
Guys like this just blow me up.
Yeah, I hear you, Mike. Appreciate the call. Thank you. Let's get Crystal in here. Crystal,